Hello, my amazing Foojan. It's so nice to have you on the show today. How are you doing?
Thank you for the invite. It's nice to be with you and everybody who's with us.
Beautiful, awesome, and thank you so very much for being here. You see, I truly appreciate you. And you see, Foojan, oftentimes I love to thank my guests for two things. And I do this so often to the point where it has become my anthem. So, firstly, Foojan, I want to say thank you so very much for investing in yourself. You see, you are on this platform right now because you did invest it in yourself. And oftentimes, Fujan, I love to make reference to the amazing mango tree. I say some couple of months back, I was on a particular road, and just by the roadside, Fujan, there was this very tall, unattractive mango tree. And I use the word unattractive because the mango tree's got no mangoes on it, and the leaves were all dry. So I just walked past it and I went my way. But you see, Fujan, just recently, I was on that same road. And this time around, a lot's changed about the mango tree. The mango tree caught my attention pretty good from a distance, and immediately I got the urge to move so close to it, of which I did, and it wowed me. Because now the mango tree's got a lot of mangoes on it, beautiful green leaves and healthy branches, and not just mangoes now, Fuji. I'm talking about ripe mangoes. It was such a beautiful experience that day. I was so excited. Here is my point. The fact that you dedicated your time, energy, and resources to becoming the amazing Fujian that you are today, that alone has made it really impossible for me to skip you. And that's why you got the request from me to be on the show, because I was attracted to the fruit of all that you're doing, your insights, your philosophies, the impact your work is having, how you are offering your solutions. These stuffs are beautiful. And just before I sent you that request, Fujan, I said to myself, I've got to benefit from these beautiful things Fujan is doing. And not only me now, but even with the audience. And here we are today with the amazing Fujan. So thank you so very much for doing that yourself. And secondly, thank you for saying yes to the invite. Because if you had said nope, there was nothing Elisha could do about it. Thanks so much, Fujan.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me. Thank you for taking the time to see the process that I had gone through, and then the fruit that was there. But that was a beautiful concept you shared because, yes, I mean, I think every human being also the same as nature, as we are part of the nature. We have different cycles, and there are times that these cycles change, and there are times that we go in, we create what's inside, and then the fruit comes out, and then it's shared with the world. So they're both, all sides are necessary for this fruit to every season to be able to give to the rest of humanity as it is. So, and I think each one of us go through that cycle, and I'm sure you've gone through your cycle. That's why you
Sadly.
create your
Yeah.
great wonderful podcast to share all that and everyone who comes in with everybody who's listening to us.
Beautiful. And that's so true. That's a great perspective. Thank you for sharing that. So let's get started. You see, I'm quite excited to have you on the show today, Fujan, for two reasons. Firstly, my interest in knowledge seeking. I believe in order for one to transition from a terrible situation to that of a beautiful one, Fujan, I believe it takes the application of knowledge, quality information. And you see, ever since I discovered that light in the Hebrew means knowledge and darkness ignorance, I've been so keen to knowledge seeking. Why? Because I do not want to remain in the dark. So that's going to make our conversation today very important to me and even to the listeners. And the second reason why I'm excited to have the amazing Fujian on the show is for the sake of the audience. You see, Fujian, we live in an age where information is as abundant as grains of sand. We've got a lot of information flying out there. So these folks trust me for quality, eye-opening, and very important information, of which I am totally convinced, Fujian, that our conversation is going to be insightful and impactful. So for that reason, let's get started with your introduction. Talk to us about your personal or your professional journey, Because right now we are so curious. We want to know how Fujian got here. Then afterwards, I've gotten some beautiful questions for you. Okay, Fujian, over to you.
Thank you. I think the journey began with exactly me trying to heal myself, going through a process of self progress seminars and going to psychotherapy. And I fell in love with this field because it showed me and it worked on me in a way of no matter what the circumstances are that we are born or the cards that are given us, with our family, with our culture, whatever circumstances that was showing up. And all of us attempted to live and survive in all of those. There is a way that we program ourselves. And sometimes parts of those programs are amazing. They're supporting us, moving us forward. And there are parts of those programming that are holding us back. And even if it worked for a certain time and a circumstance, if we generalize it, then it might be limiting. So the concept of working on myself to look at how those limiting beliefs that were holding me back were not allowing me to thrive in life, to feel fulfilled, because I was always in a surviving mode. So with that, then I decided to become a therapist and working with many of the different kind of theories where some of them look at if you change your thought process, you will change your emotions and actions and results. Some of them, if you change your emotions, you do or the behaviors. So I looked at a lot of the amazing, impactful theories and then brought them together. Whatever one stopped and was limited, another one started. So I kind of brought all of them together and created the awareness integration therapy and theory. The reason I say it's a theory is because it's utilized not only in a clinical psychological way, but it's also used in educational and uprising of our children and kind of like moving forward. And it's used in work, in corporate world, in parenting, child rearing, in clinical trauma, all of those. So with that, we did a lot of research and we found that using this methodology, we're reducing depression, we're reducing anxiety, we're reducing trauma, and people are going from post-traumatic disorder, they're going through, thriving and post-thriving actually. After the trauma. And then they're raising their self esteem, self efficacy, self confidence. And then we started using it in universities. And then when we did a study, Elisha, that in the university there were no coaches, no psychotherapists, and just doing the guided journaling and going through the protocol, we still saw like 60% minimization of depression and anxiety and raising their self esteem. And because that worked, we then took it and implemented in the app, Foojan app, where, anywhere in the world who's, they can speak English, they can pick it up and go through the guided journaling. And as we were building the app, we saw that there was then areas that people wanted to ask questions. And if you are with a coach or a therapist, you could ask those questions. But if you're on an app, you kind of are left with the questions. So we created an AI chatbot which is trained in this theory, which is in the app. So as you're going through the guided journaling, if you needed to ask questions, then you ask, Mira, the chatbot, and she will answer you. So it's utilized, as a self-help in the app. It's utilized as a clinical, psychological process. If you wanted to go to a therapist, you can. If you're building your future, your career, you could use it. You could use it, work it with a coach, and then we're also taking it into school systems where they can be utilized from, infancy in family daycares all the way to universities. So all of that has been working, and it's kind of like global. We're going internationally to other countries and training psychotherapists, educators, coaches to be able to have this in all sorts of culture because it's adaptable to different cultures.
Amazing, Fujian. You see, it's beautiful what you're doing. Not only are you amazing, you're also sagacious. You're very wise and smart. The way you are offering your solutions, it's amazing. including several sectors and bodies. I love that. That's a great one. So there is this part I'm curious about, okay? Let us talk about anxiety. What causes anxiety in daily life?
I could just say everything. And the reason for that is anxiety is a natural experience and a natural emotion that shows up for us in order to protect us. So every single day we face an unknown. Some parts of what we do is known. We put it into, patterns of rituals that we wake up and we do the same things, and, then we drive to work and all of those. It appears to be similar, but still there's so much unknown consistently. So our brain tries to protect us and let us know, to be watchful of something that shows up. Now, there's a part that is healthy about this anxiety because it's a protective measure. So it makes us more alert. It makes us watch things and, to think on our feet and be able to protect us. There is a part that goes from natural and normal to a little bit of an unhealthy. And that becomes part of what we use from the past, the experiences that were negative in the past. What we do is we take those and kind of like fast forward them into the future. So we create these kind of movies for ourselves about what if, what if, what if, what if. And we take these what ifs from what had happened in the past, or a friend went through something, or we watch other people who were suffering and we're like, that I don't want that to happen to me. So then we kind of like forecast that in the future. And then we attempt to figure out how we can, handle it from the knowledge we have today. Well, the problem is that at any time, the knowledge you have will always work for you because you already have the knowledge. You don't have to scare yourself consistently to do that. Plus, that if this happens in the future, you probably have more knowledge, more ways of handling it in the future than you do today. Or this may never happen to you. So the knowledge that you have is already in you and you could utilize it. Your whole system can utilize it immediately when you are faced with something. So if we go into this pattern of consistently trying to avoid unknown or avoid a negative concept from the future, that's why it produces our anxiety. So it's to look at what part of this is healthy and it's supposed to be there. And partially we look at it and we say, is there anything I can do for it right now? Is there anything I need to learn? Is that any skills that I need to learn that I don't have? So you kind of do reality check with it and see if there is anything you want to do or can do. And if it's not, then we'll say, well, with all the skills I have today, I'll hold on. I'll cross that bridge when I come to it. And I'm going to be positive that whatever is in me is going to help me to support me if something negative is showing up from the future. So it's for all of us to find out what part of this becomes unhealthy for us, and then learn the skills of how to handle and trust ourselves in order to be able to handle whatever unknown shows up to us, because life is unknown consistently. Like we really, operate about probably 5 to 10% of the known in the world. Most of it shows up, and we attach it to something we know. Imagine driving every day. All you know is where your car is, how to drive your car. We don't know exactly what's going on inside the car at that moment. We don't know what's going to happen in the road conditions. We can't control everybody who's around us. But most of us get there every day, right? So there's a
So
trust,
true.
right? There's a trust that we create for ourselves and our abilities and our surroundings that, we're going to come through. Does that make sense?
A whole lot of sense, I tell you. It's amazing. And you explain it in such a way that it's quite easy to understand. Thank you. I got that. So you see, something occurred recently. I noticed a pattern. Well, let's just say I noticed something. I stepped out some days back and I realized that among the folks outside, let's say the one going out also in the vehicle or something, folks are just so angry. There are some folks that they just get angry at every little thing. You know, anger has become their lifestyle. Now, let's say we've got some of those kind of people listening to us now, and they'd be like, hey, Fujian, how can I manage, or do you have any tips or insight on how to, overcome this everyday anger? Because there's some people like that. Any little thing, they're mad, you see. So what would your response be to folks like that?
Anger is one of those emotions that, again, very useful. It's there to protect, but it's also at times an umbrella emotion. Elisha, it's an umbrella emotion where underneath it, if we experience any of the emotions and feelings that have a feeling of a little bit of a powerless into it, we can turn it into anger because anger gives us power. So sometimes we need to look at what's underneath. If I'm very anxious and consistently can't really go forward, if I'm afraid, if I'm sad, if I have shame, if I have guilt, a lot of these emotions are, if they're hard for me to experience and I feel like powerless and weak, then I turn into anger because anger gives me power and allows me to move forward, gives me action, gives me heat, and I move forward. So again, this feeling is put there in order for me to take what is needed from me, take a stand for myself and the world, and move forward. But I got to look at if the emotion is not being produced naturally for this, certain time, but it's become a mode of my operation, that every feeling goes into anger, then I'm using it as an umbrella and I'm not paying appropriate honor to all the other messages that are coming through the anger. I'm sorry, through other emotions that are underneath the anger. So one of the things I would say is if you're consistently finding yourself angry, look at what else is under there. Are there other emotions that you're hiding, you're not looking at, you're not allowing yourself to really feel? And unless that's happening, the anger is going to keep going on. The other side of it is so one is wanting power. The other side of it is a sense of entitlement sometimes, or an expectation that I need to have this. This is what I need to have. And sometimes you're right. You have to take a stand for what's needed, for what you are not given, or what you expect and the world is not giving you. But sometimes you also got to connect with, is my expectation realistic? Is what I'm expecting from the world going to be given to me because, the world is also operating in the level that I'm expecting it. So it also needs another level of reality check. So when people come to me and we're talking about their anger, I start looking at, where's the anger in your body? How do you feel it? And what is the message? And usually it has a theme, the world is unfair. I'm not getting what I want. Why aren't they understanding me? Why don't they give me what I want? Or it's more like I'm afraid of something or I'm sad. And again, it should be another way. Why isn't it all rose garden? So then it's like looking at the thought process that makes me angry. Is it that I'm not dealing with an emotion that I need to, or is it that I'm holding an expectation from the world that it's not coming through? And then is that expectation realistic or not? Now, anger is a heated emotion. So it gives you the message, but if you keep brewing it, it's one of those emotions that really will get you sick, will get you ill. So you need to use it for the appropriate action that you need. Anger is set up in our system to create action. And you need to take action in whatever it is that you need and then release it. Get the message, what it is that you need to take action on, and then release it. With anger, a lot of time the releasing either comes in our jaws or voice, or it comes in our hands, or it comes in our feet. And that's where, depending on who you are and where it goes, then you can release it that way, right? So if it's your jaw, you could sing. You know how people they get angry and they yell. Well, then sing. Yell, sing, let it out from your voice. If it comes to your hands, that's what they do boxing, right? Go somewhere
Right, right.
safely, do the action of boxing, or to shred something in order for the anger to be released. Then your feet walk, jump, run. and let that, let the adrenaline that comes along with the anger to be used for something that you need to do, and then release it. The positive ways that we use anger is by competition, by races, by sports. Sports use anger in order to move, right? We take a stand for ourselves vocally. We share what we want. We take action for ourselves. So use it appropriately for movement of moving you forward and gaining what you need to gain, what you want, and then be able to release it out of your body with exercising, with breathing, all of that. Because stored anger in your body, ultimately, it would spasm your muscles and your cellular body and will get you ill.
To get you ill, that's so true. Well, those are some very practical tips and approaches. Thank you for sharing that, Pooja. So, to bring this to an end, what would you like to leave the audience with, like a final thought? And to those folks who would like to learn more about your application, the beautiful one you built, and your programs, how can that be possible?
I believe that every one of us are responsible, not only that we have entitlement and can be fulfilled in life and happy, but we're also responsible to create that for ourselves. So, not wait for the world to give it to us. We're responsible. And the way that we can be responsible is to actually look at the way we think, the way that we feel, the way we're acting, and be able, because that's the only place we're in control of. So be able to shift in, our thought process, our feelings, and our behaviors in order to gain what we need to gain in order to fulfill ourselves in every area of our life. And all these areas are attached. So if you, become fulfilled in your career, you got to also work on your relationships, your body, every angle of your life, because these are all connected with each other. And that's what awareness integration theory does. It opens you up to creating awareness in different areas of your life, healing your past, coming, with all the negative beliefs you've had in the past, to heal the traumas of the past or anything unfinished business, giving you a system to move forward and create your goals for the future and move forward with it, and give you the action plans to do that. People are more than welcome to go to the app, Foojan app, in any of your app stores or Google Play, Google Store, all of those. It works on Apple and Android. Check out Mira, which is the AI chatbot. Ask the questions and she'll answer you. You can go to, I've written 6 books on those. You could go to my website, foojanzeine.com, and get those, get more information about the books. And you can go to awarenessintegration.com and get more understanding about what the theory does and where it's being applicable around the world.
Amazing. And I just head straight to App Store now, so I'm downloading the app. Beautiful. That's a great one. So that's going to be the end of the show, Fujan. Thank you for coming and thank you for sharing those beautiful stuffs with us. I tell you, it means a whole lot. Thank you.
Thank you for asking me to be, and the potential and the opportunity. Thank you.